Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen around the world, and welcome back to Dritte Liga. We are here with the third tier of German football, and we are in Dresden at one of the greatest stadiums in this league. The crowd are in full and fine voiced, and the stadium, with a capacity of over 40,000, looks nearly full to me. This is one of the great sights of third division football in Germany, and we are here for a fascinating matchup between Dynamo Dresden and FC Saabrücken. It is close in the table, fourth against fifth in the league, and this is a crucial game for both sides. Soon enough we'll bring you the lineups for today's teams. Here we go then, starting with Dresden. The home side with Tim Schreiber in goal, Heiser, Burda, Bunning and Sterner across the back, Sapinka, Kazar and Hauptmann in midfield, Meyer, Daferner and Lemmer up front, and for the visitors, Saabrücken have Mensen in goal across the back, Farner, Becker, Birchsel and Rizzuto, Neudecker, Sonheimer and Kran in a three-man midfield, and then three up front, both teams playing 4-3-3 we expect, and they have Günther Schmidt, Brunker and Simon Steller in their forward line. That is the little corner of the stadium here in Dresden, which is allowed for the away fans, of course, and they are also in full voice, but they can hardly be heard. The yellow seats, you almost can't see any actually, because there are so many fans here, and it's one of the great sights of lower league German football when we see these kind of sights, these kind of crowds supporting their local team. It should be, as I said, a fascinating lineup. Both teams have the exact same record at the moment in the league. They've both played 14, won 7, drawn 4 and lost 3. So if ever you were going to see an evenly matched game, this should be it. Dresden have scored 25 goals this season and Saabrücken have scored 20. They've conceded 16 and 15 goals respectively, so their records are unbelievably similar after 14 games of the season. We're more than a third of the way through the 24-25 season, and both sides will be hoping still of the opportunity to move up into Bundesliga 2. Saabrücken have conceded in their last 3 games consecutively, and Dresden have scored in their last 3 games. So I think if you were going to make any kind of a prediction, you would probably say that Dresden will score. Saabrücken have scored in their last 5 games, so both teams, I would say, are pretty likely to score. Our referees today, all German of course, Jan Seidel and Robert Wessel on the sidelines, and Daniel Seibert is the tall man in the centre of your picture, who will be trying to keep control over what could be a pretty tense game. Home form for Dresden, they've played 6 and won 3. Saarbrücken's away form, pretty similar, played 7 and won 4. Dresden have lost the fewest games in the league at home this season, scoring 12 rather, and conceding 7. And Saabrücken have scored in every single one of their away games since the first match in August. I'm expecting goals. I'm expecting a very, very tight contest between these two teams. Let's see how we go. I should imagine that both coaches have had their work cut out here. Thomas Stamm is the manager of Dynamo Dresden, and it looks like his side are going to be the ones that kick off. And Rudi Gesell for Saabrücken, both with a very similar record in terms of experience. They've both been managing for a long, long time. Rudi Gesell is a little bit younger, age 47. Now, I mentioned that we think these teams are going to play a 4-3-3 today, both of them. But we only ever really get the idea of the formations until kickoff. And kickoff is upon us. Dresden at home in their yellow and black, as is tradition, and Saabrücken today in their away strip which I'm going to say is white, but it's a sort of off-white. Like a trendy paint colour of the hipsters. Cotton or something like that it's probably called. But we'll call it white for today, just because it makes it, makes it a bit easier for me. Okay. Schreiber at the back. And that's not well dealt with by Dresden. But the free kick has been given their way. And the stern face of our referee today. Hopefully he won't need to be that stern. Hopefully we'll have a good game with plenty of chances and plenty of goals. Remember those key stats that I mentioned before. Saabrücken have conceded in their last 5 games away, and they've scored in all their away games. Dynamo Dresden have scored in their last 3 games as well. It's the best away record in the league against one of the best home records. So if ever you wanted a really decent matchup to start off this weekend of football, we have it for you right here. Dresden against Saabrücken, with Dresden on the attack, trying to thread it through down the left-hand side, but they don't manage it. Still have the ball though. Saabrücken. Neat ball, nice idea. Slightly overhit the pass. Early in the game, still finding their range. And you can hear the Dynamo Dresden fans. Dynamo. Phenomenal support Dresden have here at home. Dresden 4th in the table at the moment, and it's their away form that has really kept them that high. And Saabrücken in 5th, and it's their away form that has also kept them in the running for the playoffs, or even automatic promotion. Still early in the season, of course, in many ways. Attack has been the main strengths of both Dresden and Saabrücken so far this season. Not so much defence, which is one of the reasons we expect to see a few goals today. Here's a cross into the centre. Can't reach a white shirt though. Patrick Sonheimer, the number 6 for Saabrücken, in the centre of your screen there, almost had a chance for a long shot, but the ball just wouldn't fall for him. So here come Dresden instead, and they're going to go to the right, which they do. We're going to see the offside flag go up though. Ball just played a little too late. Yeah, definitely offside. Good decision by the assistant referee. That was just a little bit too ponderous from Alias Kazar. Had he moved the ball slightly quicker, that would have been a golden opportunity to open the scoring. That is a flighted ball straight into the hands of Tim Schreiber. Schreiber needs to be careful. He nearly had, earlier on in the season, one of the most calamitous own goals that you would ever have seen in the world of football. Tripped over the ball himself, and as he tripped, he kicked the ball accidentally towards his own goal. It was almost viral, almost hilarious. Not for him, of course, but he just managed to keep it out. Both teams looking pretty composed on the ball so far in this first 5 minutes of the game. No real opportunities yet in front of goal, but Saabrücken have had the best opening. They just couldn't use it to their best advantage, as they're still finding their feet on this pitch here in Dresden. So it looks like we were right about the formations. 4-3-3 for both sides. Saabrücken coming forward then. 4 yellow shirts back in the box there. That's great defending from Dresden. Good pressing. Hassling and crowding on that left-hand side. Saabrücken choose to spread it to the right instead, and Farner. And Dresden's press is really stifling Saabrücken so far. Philipp Heiser on the left-hand side of defence that you just saw on your screen there, the number 16. In these first 7 minutes, it looks to me very much like both teams know what a clutch crunch this is. Nowhere near the business end of the season, but at the same time, the confidence or the disappointment that can be gained or lost in a clutch encounter like this, right in the middle of the promotion scrap. Down the left-hand side come Dresden. And that's really good play from Günther Schmidt. And Kran just gets that away. Here's Sapina's in the middle, and Dresden doing really well coming forward. That was Hauptmann. And Dresden have ideas and strategies and tactics and thoughts that betray the league that they're in. They're trying little through balls, dinked passes. A great team to watch in Dritte Liga. And look at those fans behind the goal. Here they come, Dresden with the first corner. That one comes to nothing. Lemmer now. Back to the defensive line, which is pushed quite high up the pitch. Little left-footed ball dinked in. Comes back to Dresden with the second ball, and Dresden winning all the second balls. And here's the first headed opportunity. I thought that was going to be in front of goal, just didn't quite clear the defence. But that's encouragement for Dresden and for their fans. Thomas Stamm and Rüdiger Zeil on your screen right now. Zeil started his managerial campaign at Wolfsburg's second team before going to Haverly, and this is now his 4th season in charge of FC Saabrücken. Pretty good record overall, Zeil. As for Thomas Stamm, He's had long spells at all of the clubs where he's been, which are only 3. Started with the under-18s at Winterthur, before going to Freiburg, where he managed the under-19s and the under-23s. And then got what I guess is his big break, in a way, here at Dresden. That was just this summer. He's only been in charge for 17 matches in total, won 8 of them. But at the moment, Dresden have started very, very well in Dritte Liga. Before the start of play today, Sandhausen, top of the league. Cottbus in second. And then Arminia Bielefeld. But it's all pretty congested. The top 5 are only separated by 3 points. Sandhausen are today playing at Essen. They kicked off at the same time as us, and they are already a goal up. So Sandhausen, as things stand, will be on 29 points. There's also been a goal in the game between Very and Stuttgart. Stuttgart, the away side, having taken the lead, and Aachen are 1-0 up against 1860 München as well. Also in the middle of the games, Rostock against Bielefeld at the moment is 0-0. And of course we're 0-0 here as well. The later game today is Unterhaching against Wehen. And that one kicks off at 4:30 local time. It was a fast-paced opening. And now the game has quietened down a little bit, calmed down. Both teams finding their feet, finding their range, and their shooting boots at the moment haven't yet been unpacked. That's Fana, at the bottom of your screen. Inside with Becker. And now this is Bitzel. Out to Rizzuto. It's a great crossfield ball from Rizzuto, and a clever little header as well, and a fast break and a fast cross, and the man's free at the back of the box, and Saabrücken can't get the ball to him. But that's Saarbrücken's most promising attack. Günther Schmidt was there, and Elijah Kran made a really good run into the back of the penalty area, and I'm just not sure that Fana saw him actually. That's really well played by Saabrücken, and you can see how dangerous they are on the break, on the counter. Nice idea from Dresden, from Tim Schreiber. Not necessarily executed perfectly, but they've done well to Dresden to get out of that. It's Meyer. Meyer centre field, but loses the ball. And now with Stahler for Saabrücken. And it's covered. And now Dresden need to work hard not to lose possession in that dangerous area of the pitch. They have done that. And now they tidy it up really well. No, they don't. Saabrücken. And Dresden do have a habit of losing possession in key areas, and a first shot on goal of the game. Elijah Kran. And that's the Saabrücken fans you can hear now. The shot covered by Schreiber. Not sure it was going in. Might have been in the post, actually. But Rüdiger Zeil, happy enough with that little attack there. And it's a reminder to Dresden that they've got to lose this habit of losing the ball in such key positions. This is Sapina with a long ball forward and into the air. It's brilliantly taken down. One man in the box, one on the edge of the area. First shot coming in of the game from Baptista Maya. He had options, went for it himself, didn't work out, but it still formed a foundation for another surge forward from Dresden. That's going to be a free kick to Saabrücken, I think. Lovely open game we're watching here. Sontheimer, I think, was the man fouled on the ball. Indeed. And Hauptmann, who was penalised. It was well blocked by Philip Farner in the end, that shot from Maya. This is lovely, encouraging stuff from both sides. Quarter of an hour gone, it's a good game. Just as we expected. Saarbrücken's turn to attack again, this time down the left-hand side with Stieler. And Stieler just needs to get his head up, I think, and look around. Because there are white shirts open when the ball comes forward from left to right, with the white shirts of Saabrücken attacking left to right on your screen in this first half. Menzel with the long goal kick, and that has found another white shirt. And Saabrücken are really ambitious with their passing, and it's so far, well, just as I was saying, how their ambitious passes are coming off pretty well. Rizzuto puts a 2-metre pass straight into touch. The curse of the commentator, I do apologise to Rizzuto. Obviously my fault. Dresden have been pinned back a little bit. That's Heiser inside to Burda. And Burda choosing to run forward. And he's going to win a free kick after Kai Brunkner is adjudged to have brought him down. And he definitely did. But Dresden were doing well, bringing the ball out of defence. They've coped with everything that Saabrücken have thrown at them so far very well. Dresden's defence has been very solid so far this afternoon, and so far this season too, actually. They've only conceded 16 goals in the whole of the 14 matches they'd played up until today. And the only two teams to have better records than them, in fact, are Saabrücken, their opponents today, and Sandhausen. That's not including Arminia Bielefeld, of course, whose defensive record is infinitely superior to everyone else's. 11 goals conceded for them. As we see a replay of that decent shot on target from Saabrücken. Corner to the away side then. And this one's going to be taken left-footed. It's going to swing out towards the penalty box. Here it comes. Doesn't clear the first man very well. And if Dresden can get away here, there's a lot of white shirts committed forward, but they couldn't. That was Stieler again. Not really much to argue about there, I would say. There, Simon Stieler. nonetheless. Relieving the pressure now, Lucas Burda is waving his teammates forward. Long ball, and that's should have been cut out by Saabrücken, but wasn't, and Dresden do manage to hold on to it, keeping possession very well so far in this first half. Philipp Heiser is the left back for Dresden, who comes forward and takes part in all the attacks of Dresden. That's well stolen by Dresden, then given away again. Retaining possession, so crucial at this level of football. And as you can see, neither side able to do that currently. That's good though, neat passing. 4 one-touch passes, and that's how quick movement can bring you forward so quickly. And it's into the box, it's a chance for Dresden. What a super little move that was in centre field. 4 one-touch passes, give and goes, across, and then a header into the arms of Philipp Menzel. Super stuff from Dresden going forward. Cross came in from Heiser. And in the end, Rizzuto was doing pretty well, just to cause enough problems and enough distractions that Dresden weren't able to get a shot on target, but that's the best move of the match so far, no doubt about that. Four of the top 5 teams in the league are in action right now. Sandhausen, Bielefeld, and of course these two. Only one of the top 5 who aren't playing right now is Cottbus. And they will be playing their game of the weekend tomorrow against Unterhaching. I beg your pardon, that's their game next week. They played last night, where they beat Victoria Köln. My mistake. So they've already been in action this weekend, and these other 4 playing now. Bielefeld is still 0-0 away at Rostock, and Saabrücken against Dresden here is also 0-0, with Sandhausen still 1 up at Essen. Play on, says the referee. Saabrücken coming forward again now. Trying to with Farner, but he has to go back, and it's Bischel at the back and Menzel. And Menzel just slowing it down. And Saabrücken keep the ball despite the pressing of Dresden, which continues when the ball is even all the way at the back. It's Kran in centre field with Bischel. Bischel, that's the right back to Kran, but it hasn't got to him. And Dresden can tidy it up at the back. Bunning was in the middle and available, but not used. A little slip, well recovered though by Becker. And now out to Farner again. Becker and Bischel. Now Bischel forward to Stunheimer. And Menzel, patient from Saabrücken. Not necessarily incisive, but Sontheimer is there again to coordinate everything. And there's Kran. Sontheimer does well to get the ball out to the left. There's a clear header, and I'm not sure why Richard Neudecker didn't have a an attempt on goal there, because the ball came to him inside the area. He was in plenty of space, dropped on his head. That will be a foul and a yellow card, I think. It is. First yellow card of the game. And it's gone to Rizzuto. Rizzuto receives the first yellow card of the game, and we've had a lot of fouls but not many serious incidents, so that is definitely the first card-worthy challenge of the first half. Calogero Rizzuto sounds Italian, but in fact is a German national. Doesn't have the best disciplinary record, to be honest, Rizzuto, and with the first yellow card of this game, he certainly reinforces that. But he has had a very good year, Rizzuto. He's played super well. It's his third yellow card of the season, Rizzuto, as Saabrücken come forward and open the scoring. Do they? Don't. Oh well. If ever there should have been an opening goal in the first 26 minutes of this game, that was it. It's Steyler again, who's in acres of space. No one to beat but the keeper. And he puts the ball wide of the right post. And the Saabrücken fans are making themselves heard above the enormous noise of the thousands of Dresden supporters in the stadium in their yellow and black. It's Lars Bunning down the left-hand side, and a throw-in, attacking throw-in for Dresden. Still 0-0, with nearly half an hour gone. Philipp Heise with the throw-in. The ball's in the Saabrücken box, and it's so nearly Kazar, who gets the ball caught under his feet, unfortunately. But that was another good chance for Dresden to make something happen in this first half. Heise again then. And again Heise. Good thinking, good play from Dresden. And now there's a chance, got to go early though, and he doesn't pass the ball early enough. He's been involved in so much. But Jakob Lemmer, after those really good passages of play with the one-touch pass in the give and goes, there was a real chance there to crisply dispatch the ball into the area with two men free, and it came to nothing. Back they go then into defence and spreading the ball right now. Lemmer is available and gets the ball. And a chip pass through. Doesn't beat the heads of the Saabrücken defence. And so Batista Meyer has to go back again to Heise. And Heise has to use Sapina. And the three of them interacting very well. Keeping the ball, and there's space on the right-hand side. And Dresden can't get the ball out there. Here's Heise again. Now another chance to spread it, but they choose to go back instead. And it's with Bunning. And now Bunning with a left-footed shot, left-footed pass into the box, and nowhere near any of his own players. Menzel taking his time. Those long balls from Saabrücken haven't caused any problems for Dresden in the last 20 minutes or so, 15-20 minutes. But earlier on in the game, there was a really super opportunity for Saabrücken, which they couldn't take. And Dresden can't make that foray forward count either. And the ball is into the stands. And Menzel will take it again from the 6-yard area. Dresden regaining possession really well in the centre of the field. Remember, it's 4th against 5th this game. Match day 15. So super crucial and super close game. Down at the bottom of the table at the moment, Essen, Hanover, Unterhaching and Osnabrück. Osnabrück are propping up the table in 20th. Here it is, Saabrücken with the chance to score, and again, this time Schreiber keeps it out. And Günther Schmidt, I don't think can quite believe that he hasn't scored there. That's 2 golden opportunities. And I really mean golden. Let's see it again. The through ball was absolutely pinpoint perfect. And in the end, it's a left-footed, smart save from Schreiber. But it is going to be a corner. And that's goal. Goodness me. I can't. Save. Crossbar. Pinball wizard. And Saabrücken just can't get the ball in the back of the net. How much closer do they need to come here? What's the referee going to decide? Because that was a slightly confusing moment or two. Kazar getting the ball across, and again, that ball should be in the back of the net. And that was Elijah Kran onto the crossbar. 4 or 5 big chances for Saabrücken in this game. Dresden haven't really had what you would call a dead cert of a goal opportunity. But Saabrücken, wow. So many opportunities now. That's at least 3 or 4 that they could have been up. Now Dresden have a chance to come back. And they do. That's a really neat turn. And a left foot shot on the edge of the area from Hauptmann. And they're appealing for a penalty, but they're waved away. That's really good play from Hauptmann on the edge of the Saabrücken box. A lovely little turn. And then setting himself up for that left-footed curling shot from the edge of the area. And the final shot hasn't been there for either side yet. Dresden, I was just about to say, managed to get their danger out of the way really neatly there, but didn't. And the ball goes for a goal kick eventually. Let's have a look. Hauptmann with the neat turn. Sets himself up. And blocked by Kran. Substitutes warming up already, with 35 minutes gone. And Dresden try to play it short from the back. They're confident on the ball, Dresden. There aren't many teams at this level of German football, or any football around the world, where you'd see teams playing out from the back in such a composed manner. Schreiber. Long ball forward, and it does reach a yellow shirt eventually. Ball's out on the right-hand side. Dresden have won the last 4 games in a row between these two sides, and they haven't lost in 7. Saabrücken haven't kept a clean sheet against Dresden for any of those last 7 games between the two clubs. Dresden in yellow, patiently keeping possession and looking for an opening. Well, they're keeping possession and position, actually. That's Hauptmann again. Hauptmann's been a real menace in the last 5 minutes or so in that box. And we only have 10 minutes left of this first half. But it's gone by very quickly indeed. I think this is the highest quality Dritte Liga match that I've seen this season. Far fewer mistakes, and there's a real opening for Dresden. And again, that's certainly the clearest chance for Dresden to have a go. And that is a dreadful, dreadful attempt from Christoph Dafferner. And the only thing we're missing is goals in this game, which is the one thing I was absolutely certain we would have. At the moment, though, it remains 0-0. And the only goal that I haven't told you about yet in the other 2 o'clock kickoffs is that Rostock have now taken the lead at home against Bielefeld, which means that Aachen are beating München by a goal to 0. Rostock are leading Bielefeld by a goal to 0. Sandhausen, top of the league, as a result of currently being 1-0 up at Essen, and Stuttgart are also 1 up away at Werl. Foul against Dresden, and a free kick in a defensive position for Saabrücken. This is Hauptmann's neat turn again. Look, he's fooled 3 defenders there, but in the end, Elijah Krahn blocking really well, and then fortuitously, I'm going to say, Patrick Sontheimer also blocked the second shot. The Dresden fans are remarkably quiet. I think they're aware that so far in this game, it's Saabrücken who really have had the better opportunities. Although, having said that, we have just seen 2 or 3 really, really good opportunities for Dresden as well. Saabrücken with another dangerous cross into the area, just overhit, but only just. 2 shots on target for each team so far. Possession pretty much even. Saabrücken have had the larger proportion of possession in the opposition half, but it's all pretty even in this first 40 minutes or so. Only 1 yellow card, that's gone. Let's go back to the action, and an overhit shot. That first yellow card of the game went to Ritsuto of Saabrücken, and both keepers have had to make 2 saves, but neither of them super tested, if we're honest. Both coaches lining up with 4-3-3 as we expected. And 4 minutes left of this first half. 5 minutes rather. Plus, there will be a few minutes of time added on, just because there always is. We haven't had any serious incident or accident yet here. But in this fantastic stadium, in Dresden, the Rudolf Harbig. Huge capacity, and it's not far off being full. Dresden coming forward in the yellow again, from right to left on your screen. And Hauptmann has been ever present, as has Heiser, with that left-footed cross. Sterner is up from the back as well. And now this is Sapina out to Lemmer on the right-hand side. And Dresden are in the box, and they're going to appeal for a free kick, and I think the referee makes a good decision there not to give it. Hauptmann was in the box and is incandescent with rage. But no matter, Farner and Saabrücken across the back keeping the ball with Becker and Bischel. And now Kran. Becker again chooses to be safe and go back to Menzel in his goal. And Farner trying to spread the ball wide there and get it cross field. And he just didn't manage it, actually. And it almost cannoned off and went to a Dresden player. But he would have been offside anyway. Saabrücken have the ball in the box again. Well kept in by Simon Stieler, but he couldn't make anything of it. That's well played by Dresden. And they tend to put one or two moments together, Dresden, of pretty exceptional, high quality and high level football that betrays their league standing, but then they lose it. And here's Saabrücken, as a result of one of those times, have another chance in the box to cross it or maybe pull it back from the byline. But Dresden, again, defending really well. And the ball is with Schreiber. And Brunker is this time the man frustrated for Saabrücken. Kai Brunker. Experienced striker is Kai Brunker. Dresden have the ball back, and with a minute and a half left of normal time in this first period of the game, they are going to have maybe one final chance to cross the ball in. That's neatly done by Dresden, and then again that final pass letting them down, that final cross or action that would be the incisive and decisive moment is where they fall down. One final corner, I imagine, for Dresden. In it comes, left-footed and out-swinging and headed out, and Saabrücken have cleared the danger, but only as far as the left wing of Dresden. And Bunning can't make anything of that. But Heiser's left foot in that deep forward wing-back position is causing Saabrücken a lot of problems, actually. He's got a super whipped cross when he gets forward. Dresden will not be playing towards their home supporters' wall in the second half, which is going to be an advantage for Saabrücken. Well, that is 45 minutes, no time added on at all. That's the first time I've seen that this season. And the referee says 45 minutes is 45 minutes. And 0-0 is still 0-0, but it's not a 0-0 game. It's been fascinating, a mixture of football and chess. Both teams have had some good periods and passages of play. Neither team has been able to really take full advantage of the attacking foundations that they have laid. But it's a good game. Saabrücken with the better opportunities, but by no means is anything decided yet. 45 minutes gone, and it's 0-0 between 4th and 5th Dresden against Saabrücken. Welcome back to the Rudolf Harrig Stadium here in Dresden, where we have had a fascinating, engrossing and crucial first 45 minutes in Dritte Liga on match day 15. It is 4th against 5th. We have had golden opportunities for both sides, Dresden and Saabrücken, but neither team have been able to find the net quite yet. That has not stopped it being a really quite brilliant Dritte Liga game. This is a great advertisement for third division football in Germany. In the second half, Saabrücken, playing in white, will be attacking from right to left on your screen, and Dresden, the home side, from left to right in front of their home fans. But Saabrücken, having won the toss at the beginning of the game, decided to make Dresden attack their home fans in the first half, trying to diminish the advantage there is in the second half when you're playing at home and towards what at Borussia Dortmund and here at Dresden they call the yellow wall. That is Kai Brunkner on your screen, number 9 for Saabrücken, who had a couple of good opportunities in the first half. The captains of both sides will be pretty happy with the way things have gone, as will the coaches, but the finishing is what has let both sides down. The first ball forward in the second half comes from Saabrücken and is cleared, as so many were in the first 45, by Dresden. And the drums have started from the home side, or from their fans anyway. And Heise from left wing back position, and he has been getting forward a lot, and now there's an overlapping run from Jonas Sterner, and Sterner is on the ball now for Dresden, and Dresden have made a good start to this second half. And Sapina, who had come centre field, and that ball wouldn't fall for anybody in the Saabrücken box, but it's gone back to Sterner, but it's been stolen now by Saabrücken, and Bruckner is there, and Brunkner just couldn't keep it under control, and that is almost the perfect pass, but not quite. And in many ways we've seen that a few times, and Günther Schmidt was all the way over on the left-hand side there. Attacking throw-in then, and it's going to be Calogero Rizzuta to take the throw-in on a yellow card, of course. The only yellow card of the first half, and that's into the box, but not far enough. Menzel. Bit of frustration there on the part of Saabrücken. I think they felt that should have ended in a better opportunity. Here comes Saabrücken again from the back. Philipp Farner, who's at right back in the number 2 shirt, was one of the most influential players in that first half. Back with Schreiber in goal for Dresden. Dresden trying to hold on to the ball. Well, Dresden again coming forward. And that time it was Jakob Lemmer. Jakob Lemmer with an opportunity there. Just, it's difficult to get the angle right But in fact, the glancing header at first, which led to Lemmer's opportunity, was pretty good and has resulted in a corner that will be taken by Meyer. Meyer outswinging with the right foot. And again, it just can't reach the head of the teammate for whom he was aiming. My apologies if you heard a strange noise then. My headphones fell off my head. And it's goal kick to Saabrücken. Dresden. Again, patient in their build-up. Neither side have had that really cutting final ball that can lead to a gilt-edged chance. And now Saabrücken can come forward, once again with Günther Schmidt. And there's a man free in the box, and once again they failed to find him. Stieler again it is, and he's had a few moments in this game where his final decision has been poor. And this is another example of that. He just doesn't get his head up. On his left-hand side, there was a man free in the box, Kai Brunker, the striker. And Stieler, decent enough and ambitious enough, but he just doesn't have the awareness that he needs around him this afternoon to make it count in the areas that matter. Dresden attempting to come forward with a long ball from the goalkeeper again and fail, and they lose possession. And now Brunker is again free in the area on the left-hand side and nobody looks for him. And the 32-year-old must be getting slightly frustrated because now Dresden, well, they can't keep the ball under control either. Elijah Kran on your screen there had a few good moments in the first half, but nothing quite incisive or exact or precise enough to make the difference that both teams have struggled with, actually. Into the second half then, in all of the 2 o'clock kickoffs in Dritte Liga. And at the moment, Aachen are 1-0 up at home against 1860 München. Rostock also 1-0 up at home here against Bielefeld. Sandhausen, who will be top of the league with the result that they currently are in possession of at Essen. They're leading Essen by 1-0. Before today started, they were 1 point behind Cottbus, who won last night against Victoria Köln. But if it stays as it is now, then Sandhausen will go top again. Werl against Stuttgart is 1-1, and of course we're 0-0 here at the Rudolf Harrig Stadion, where it's Dresden 0, Saabrücken 0, 4th against 5th. One of the best attacking records against one of the best defensive records. The best away record in the league in Saabrücken. But against Dresden, Saarbrücken's head-to-head results are very disappointing. They haven't beaten Dresden in 7 matches in all competitions. And there will come a point in this game where the players will begin to get a little bit more nervous, and the fans too will start to feel that. Corner to Saabrücken. In-swinger, left-footed, and the second ball shot through a crowd of bodies in the area, and it's just too congested in there to make anything happen. Patrick Sontheimer, he of the moustache. He's making his displeasure felt with his teammates, and I wonder what both managers would have filled their half-time team talks with, because it was difficult to criticise either side, apart from, as I said, that final ball. So Thomas Stamm, the manager of Dresden, is going to see a great save from Tim Schreiber. Super stuff, well done Saabrücken. This was a lovely shot from the outside of the box. Curling and right-footed and really into the dangerous position, a dangerous area from Calogero Rizzuto, but saved well by Schreiber. Another corner for Saabrücken. Here it comes, in swinging again. And that not dealt with so well by Schreiber. But it comes to nothing. Rizzuto had the heart of everything again. And that's Sontheimer in the left-back position. Central midfielder, but just covering across. And Kran. And Dresden's press once again, forcing Saabrücken all the way back. And in fact, they forced him all the way back to the goalkeeper Mensah. Dresden in the first half were, for certain passages of the game, playing in a manner that betrayed their lowly league status. There was some really beautiful, quick, one-touch, incisive passing in triangles. That's Bischel. Bischel with a lofted ball forward that evades the head of Kai Brunker and of Simon Stieler. Beg your pardon, that's Günther Schmidt actually on the left-hand side. For this second half, it looks like they might have swapped positions, Stieler and Schmidt. Dresden with Sterner. And Saabrücken trying to be cute and playing it out from the back, and a slip. That was really nice thinking from Dresden. Sometimes these things don't come off, but the ideas are there, and that is a good ball. And Brunkner is onside, and that is not the first goal, but yet again it should be. And Brunkner looks to the heavens, because the timing of the passes for once going forward was absolutely spot on. Brunkner, you can see, is being played onside by Sterner. And you have to think that had Stieler just really made every effort and bust his way into the far post, that would have been an unmissable opportunity to open the scoring. But it didn't come to that, and Saabrücken, just inside the Dresden half, have another attacking throw-in. Still Saabrücken with the ball, and they're inching forward. If this was a territory-based game, then Saabrücken would certainly have had the best of the first half. I think we're going to see a first substitution, and it's going to be a substitution for Dresden, and it's Meissner, Robin Meissner, the forward player, who's going to come on. Now, whether Thomas Stamm makes a very attacking decision and puts another forward on, or whether he just replaces one of his forwards, is very much potentially decisive in this match. Christoph Daffner hasn't really played much of a part in the game. He's theoretically the centre forward they started with, Dynamo Dresden. So it's possible that Thomas Storm sees that as a way they can make a change. Something needs to change for one of these sides. Free kick goes Saarbrücken's way. Christoph Daffner, although he hasn't played much of a part in this game, he is top scorer for Dresden with 8 goals so far this year. As Saabrücken come forward again. Robin Meissner, who's going to be coming on shortly for Dresden, has scored 4 times in this Dritte Liga season so far. And now's a chance for Bruckner, and it didn't go to Bruckner in the end, but Saabrücken, it did go to Bruckner, I beg your pardon, in the end. And he's been threatening. And that is the first goal of the game, and it's Kai Bruckner who has scored it. Kai Bruckner breaks the deadlock. And it has been coming, you've got to say. And Brunker, who's been frustrated, kind of frustrated figure this afternoon, in the end receives a really good pass across. And that's all it needed, that final pass. And eventually it comes from Stieler. Sontheimer with the initial pass, Stieler with the vision finally, and Brunker with the final touch. And it's 1-0 to the away side, and it's Kai Bruckner with his 6th goal of the season in the league. With 1 hour gone. It looks like it was disallowed by the looks of the scoreboard. Let me just confirm that for you. There was nothing wrong with it as far as I could see. Here comes that substitution. It's Meyer who's going to be replaced by Meissner. I will confirm with you shortly. Our scoreboard still says 0-0, but every other source I can see says that goal did stand. They looked like there was nothing wrong with it to me. Apologies for the confusion. I believe the score to be 1-0 to Saabrücken. On your screen it still says 0-0. I will get that confirmed with you as soon as I can. Here come Dresden with a free kick. Scoreboard's been corrected. It is 1-0 to Saabrücken. As I thought. That had me confused then for a moment. 1-0 to Saabrücken, and it was Bruckner with the goal, just as we saw. His 6th goal of the season in the league. And indeed Saabrücken do take the lead away at Dresden. Dresden with the opportunity to come back very quickly. And they almost did. Saabrücken, remember, have won the most away games in the league. And they have continued that incredible record of now having scored in every single away game this season. That's 8 games, and they've scored in every single one. Dresden, on the other hand, this is their 7th home game, and they've conceded in every single one of those too. So 8 goals conceded in 7 home games. Another final pass, just doesn't make it for Dresden. And the substitution that happened for the home side in the midst of all that confusion was Oliver Meyer came off and Robin Meischner came on. Just in case you missed that. Meister, in case you're one of those fans who keeps an eye on the shirt numbers, is wearing the number 21. And I imagine we'll probably go straight in. And Saabrücken, once again, trying to float the ball forward. And don't manage it. And now here comes Saabrücken again, trying to get the ball into the box. The second half has been pretty similar in terms of quality to the first. And that quality for Dresden standards is pretty high. And we're going to start seeing, I think, some changes as well. For Saabrücken, and that's the goal for Brunkner. And that was the reaction to Brunkner's goal. No injury time at the end of the first half either. First time I've ever seen that this season. Normally we see too much as opposed to too little. But we'll definitely have at least a minute of time added on at the end of this game in 25 minutes time. Only the one substitution so far. Robin Meischner came on for Battista Meyer for Dresden, and only one yellow card so far as well. Calogero Rizzuto received that in the first half. Most importantly though, only one goal. That went to Saabrücken in the 61st minute, and they went to Kai Brunkner. Dresden then now have a compulsion to push forward because they don't want to go behind in the race here. If things were to stay as they are, because there has been a goal in one of the other games, and Sandhausen have been pegged back by Essen. Essen at home, and Sandhausen scored earliest in that game. In the first minute, Sandhausen opened the scoring away at Essen, and that took them provisionally top of the table as we get our second yellow card of the game. And it's gone to Christoph Deferner, top scorer, remember, for Dresden. So yeah, Essen have equalised, and they did so 12 minutes after the break. That's against Sandhausen, and with Saarbrücken's goal here, what that means is that if things stay as they are, Saabrücken, in the white, with 2 substitutions about to come on, will be top of the league overnight. Two substitutions being made. Here are your two substitutions for Saabrücken then. One of them may well have been enforced, I think. Multap is on, number 11. And we'll bring you confirmation of those now. Here we go. Morris Multap is on for Stella, who did provide the assist for the goal of Brooklyn. And Saabrücken can come forward again, but they lose the ball in the centre of the field in a crucial position, and it's the third yellow card of the game, and it's another one for Sandhausen. And I think it was probably a clever foul. We'll see it, a replay. Yeah, I mean, Multau has literally been on for less than a minute. Gets a yellow card straight away. No, I beg your pardon. It was Neudecker who got the yellow card. But it was probably a good foul to make, because they did lose the ball there in a pretty crucial position, as Dresden's connecting header doesn't quite go where it was intended, and Saabrücken can clear the ball over the halfway line, but straight back to Dresden. A little bit of confusion in the back, and the ball pinballs forward back to a yellow shirt. And now it's Lemmer on the left-hand side. That's really well played from Dresden. And Daferner, who's already been on the mark 8 times in the league this season, just can't wrap his right foot around that. But this is great play from Dresden, and this is football of a quality that belongs in a way higher league than this. The problem is for Dresden, as has been the problem and is the problem for so many of these Dritte Liga sides, it's that final ball, the finishing crispness that they just can't do. Lemmer. He's got to be careful there. I mean, what's he doing there? Rizzuto dealt with Lemmer super well and snuffs out the danger, and the ball is back with Menzel. And Saabrücken will slowly try to progress the ball forward, which they do in the end through a lofted pass down the right touchline, and we have 19 minutes left. Dresden need to pick up the pace here and the intensity. It's all just fallen a little bit and got scrappy. Saabrücken don't need to push anything, of course. They're already leading by that Kai Brunker goal. And we're going to see changes made by Thomas Stahn now. And it is Daferner who's coming off. He's cut something of a lonely figure. Number 30, Kunchner, is coming on. And there's also going to be a second substitution. So on. Just sharing the instructions of his manager. And Alias Kazar also off. Attacking throw-in for Dresden down the left-hand side. And they favoured that left-hand side today. And they need to switch things up and change things over a little bit, because at the moment they are staying in 5th as their opponents Saabrücken are heading to the top of the league. Corner for Dresden. What can they conjure up from this attacking position? Going to be a left-footed, out-swinging corner. One arm goes up. And Dresden. And that is so disappointing. So disappointing. Substitute on. Takes the corner. And just can't make it count at all. And you have to say that the game has slightly descended in terms of its quality. And it's Dresden who need to push forward. And have done, but they haven't been able to provide anything like the quality they need to get this equaliser. 15 minutes left. And Richard Neudecker, who was on a yellow card, is coming off. And it's Tim Chivea who's coming on. Straight swap. Neither side have created very much in the last 15 minutes. Saabrücken more content to sit back a little and protect that one goal advantage. Dresden need to push but haven't managed to do so yet. Remember, Saabrücken, if things stay as they are, will be going to the top of the league. Dresden with the only furthest forward man in a dangerous position, Jakob Lemmer, rather. And here's the substitute, Chibeka. Should have been making an overlapping run, but instead that run is made by Rizzuto. Rizzuto made the assist for the Brunker goal. And will now take the throw-in from this left-hand side. Nearly 30,000 fans in the stadium. Brilliant. Brilliant advert for Dritte Liga football. Handball not given against Dresden. Saabrücken can just clear their lines. Once again, at the crucial moments, Dresden's quality just letting them down a bit. And you wonder whether they feel a bit deflated, defeated, a bit demotivated, because nothing has really come off for them. No yellow card given for that foul. Philipp Heisse is over that free kick. And it's a position from which Dresden could build a meaningful opportunity. Let's see. That is exactly what happened. They did build a very meaningful opportunity. It was wasted once again, this time by Sapina, whose header in the 6-yard area was just back towards the corner as opposed to towards the goal. Here they come again though. But there are 6 white shirts in the area defending, and that meant the only real option available for Dresden was the long shot. And when they come off, they're spectacular. But when they don't, the ball is given away and you lose your momentum. Dresden still with it though, and it's put behind. For a corner, and that's Dominic Becker. Corner for Dresden. Let's see if they can make anything out of this one more than they did before. Every corner is a chance to get the ball in the box. This is better. At a crowded penalty area, and Saabrücken are having absolutely no problem at all in fending away these corners. That was a better corner though. Substitute, Demican. And we're going to see another yellow card. This time it's gone to Sontimer. And there are only 9.5 minutes left. And this game has fairly flown by. And as we reach the closing stages, it is Saarbrücken's afternoon, as they are going top of the league at the moment. After this attack, I'll take you through the rest of the scores, because that was shepherded out nicely. I think by Ritsuto again. 2 o'clock kickoffs. Aachen are still leading 1860 München by a goal to nil at home. It's Ritsuto again in the heart of the action. And that was an unnecessary and frustrated push. Ritsuto really trying to gee his boys up. Wasted corner, and a chance for Menzel to waste a few precious seconds. It sounds stupid to say it, but if you waste 10 seconds 6 times, that's a minute of play. And so whenever you see players wasting small amounts of time, you think it's not worth it, but actually, in the end, they add up. Referee is calming things down here. Two more substitutions for Saabrücken. Kran is off for Sonnenberg. Zile has also brought Schumacher on for Günther Schmidt. And Menzel just wasted a few precious more seconds. Foul and a free kick to Dresden on the halfway line, but they're running out of time. There's the goal scorer, Brunkner. Dresden are running out of time, and they might have run out of ideas a little bit. And the fans trying to lift them into a final 5 minutes of high pressure. This is by no means a make or break game. We're far too early in the season to say that. But Jakob Lemmer is off. And Dmitro Bogdanov is on. And it is last throw of the dice in this game for Dresden. Saabrücken though coming forward, and Bruckner is fouled. Kubata on for Heise, by the way, as well. So whole rafts of substitutions. And Lars Bunning receives a yellow card. It is now 2-2 between Werl and Stuttgart, and it's still 1-1 between Essen and Sandhausen, and it's by virtue of that current scoreline that Saabrücken will be going to the top of the league. Here comes a whipped free kick in from the substitute, Chiveka. And there simply aren't enough yellow shirts forward for them to launch that ball on the counter-attack. Dresden have lost the fewest home games in Dritte Liga, and they have scored in their last 3 games. This is going to bring that run, both those runs, to an end, as Saabrücken look to head to the top of the table. It's not quite last chance saloon for Dresden, but it's not far off. Chiveka pressing the goalkeeper Schreiber strongly and forcing him into rushing. Saabrücken fans with their blue and yellow flags waving high. The yellow wall of Dresden is doing its job. The players have played some really neat football. In terms of the quality of the play, I think Dresden have been better, but they just haven't been able to put anything together or finish off some of their good moves. Only 2.5 minutes left plus time added on. Here comes Saabrücken. Chiveka was in the box. It was Multap. Multap again. He's still on the ball, Multap, into the Dresden area, but the ball is worked clear in the end. But lost again. And Risotto is frustrated. Here come Dresden again then. And they've got to get the ball across and into decent areas in the centre of the area, which they don't manage to do, but they do manage to keep possession with an attacking throw-in. And there's not enough movement now from those yellow shirts. And the ball just goes tamely back, and Stirner cuts a frustrated figure. Kubata with that throw-in. And now into the centre field with Burda and Bunning. And Bunny with Meissner working it well. And Dresden do have a chance from outside the area. It wasn't a decent scoring opportunity, but it wasn't a bad shot at all by the substitute. And I think it took a little deflection, but it probably wasn't heading goalwards anyway. And we have less than 1 minute left as the Saabrücken fans light their flares, which of course we don't encourage in any way. Here comes Saabrücken again. Chibeka, the substitute, and the ball's in the area and he can't get it to another white shirt. But again, the ball is in the wrong area of the pitch for Dresden. One final opportunity maybe for Dresden to get a point out of this game. Saabrücken will be doing everything they can to hold on to this 1-goal advantage. It hasn't been a disappointing performance from Dresden, I don't think. But obviously, Thomas Stein will not be happy at all with the result. If things stay as they are, Dresden go fifth, having been fourth. And Saabrücken will go top. All the 2 o'clock kickoffs are into time added on at the end of the match. We have a minimum of 4 minutes to be played here. And Dresden can get the ball into the best area so far, and it's a goal. It's an equaliser for Dresden. And it has been coming, and the face of Chibeka says it all. The fans and the noise of Dresden, it rises to celebrate the equalising goal. Thomas Stamm's 5 substitutions have paid off. And Dresden do continue that record of scoring in their last 3 games. It'll be 4 now, and the flags start to wave once again behind the goal. And you knew they were going to have one more chance, and why haven't they been able to do this earlier on? 2 good headers off the back of an excellent free kick, floated into just the perfect area. Super play finally, and it's Kubata who scored the goal, the substitute. And Thomas Stamm, if he hadn't been vindicated already this season for the quality that he has been vindicated now, because in the 92nd minute of the game, Dresden have equalised, and Saabrücken will no longer be going top of the league. Now, with things as they stand now, Dresden go 3rd and Saabrücken stay in 5th. But here they come again, and it's the first goal scorer, Brunker, who can't get it through this time. And the noise ramps up, and it's maybe a bit late, but the wind is in the sails of Dresden. And that goal came against the run of play. Before the start of this game, Energy Cottbus were top of the league with 27 points after beating Victoria Köln last night. They will stay top of the league if things stay as they are now. Stuttgart have had a mad sent-off in Werl, and all the games are into time added on, apart from the one in Essen, where Sandhausen scored in the first minute of the game, were pegged back to 1-1, and that is all over. 1-1 it has finished in Essen. Sandhausen were virtually top of the league for so long until Saabrücken took the lead here, which meant Saabrücken were going top. But having been pegged back by Dresden, Saabrücken and Dresden will remain exactly where they were. And Cottbus will be top of the league overnight, with one game to come later today. Unterhaching against Becken. Long free kick, last throw of the dice. And the referee says, thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a good game. It's been a tight game, a close game. And I'm going to say that 1-1 is a fair result here. What a fascinating match we've had. 2 shots on target per team. Possession pretty much equal. Corners, few and far between, but also pretty even. And Rizzuto looks disconsolate, as does Rudiger Zeil. But I think that's a fair result. For Dritte Liga football, that was a high-quality match. We saw some really intricate, brilliant patterns of play. We saw some opportunities wasted by both sides. We saw some encouragement for both sides and both managers going forward. And 4th against 5th at this stage of the season was always going to be a tight affair. It's finished 1-1 here in Dresden. Both goals coming in the second half. Brunkner opening the scoring in the 61st minute. And in time added on, 2 minutes after the 90, substitute Kubata equalising for Dresden. It's finished all square. Dynamo Dresden 1, FC Saabrücken 1.